Zanzi. There's Zanzi. I'm scared that we're gonna die because no one in this fucking nation will listen to me. See how upset we both are? I'm trying to give her treats. So this is how, because we're dying of malnutrition, her of starvation. I don't have any money. I have been destitute for 50 fucking months in the U.S. of hypocrisy. There is no help. None. I have no one to turn to. I have spent this entire month. You see? This is autism. And look at that. It changes. Technology is going to kill us. This is autism right here. And our lives should have been saved. There's somebody with so much money, it's not even a rounding error what my life needs to not go extinct. And this motherfucker, he just talked at me like I'm a fifth grader. We can solve autism. This dog is gonna die. She's so hungry. Because in order for me to give her species appropriate food, I can't afford any food. And I went in the local place. I had a perfect meal. So I could go ahead and fast for the rest of 2025. You can't not give humans essential amino and fatty acids. Go to any food bank and find me actual nutrition. What our food supply chain is, it's poison. And if you don't let me die, I mean, you're going to want different proof, but the proof is on this YouTube channel. Now, first of all, those of y'all 11 people watching shit and not helping me, get the fuck to stepping. This is not okay. This is not poverty porn. This is a human being begging for her life and no one will respond. This nation is a catastrophe zone. Now, I am no different than anyone else. Nobody deserves to live like this. 1,355 days tomorrow. Without the slightest bit of help. Earning money. And the only way I stay alive is to go back to 2 women, grandmothers on fixed incomes. I'm taking food from their mouth. I'm taking their ability to care for their families. Because nobody will listen to me. And I am the one who solved consciousness. Because of all this deprivation. Because of the malnutrition and the sleep deprivation. And 55 years of living in a country filled with abundance. We're not a single person. Not a single person in 55 years has invested the time to know me, to see what I'm capable of, which is saving the species from self-extincting. This is a strategy. I ain't prepared for none of this, but it's got to happen. This is a strategy I learned from my neighbor, Ben Jealous. Never forget, our people were always free. This is an awesome book. You need to go buy it. After you Venmo me. $ DebHelfrich in the comments. Get me to Dave Chappelle. God damn it. stand up philosophy is for real. Now we're going to get into some of that. Also, what I've been doing this year, I don't know what y'all been doing. Chappelle Challenge was done. You tell me how I'm on Whidbey Island. I go to my alma mater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They in my shit list. Leave me in the parking lot to die for 7 months. Endowment grows $1 billion. They all pleased with that. You'll be pleased with this anti-PR. It's your all's fault. I emailed. I couldn't count. Because it's very hard to need help staying alive. To ask thousands and thousands and thousands of people to help you earn a living. And yes, I always swallow that phrase because that's what brings the emotion. And people spend all their time arguing with me that I've got to help. Look at the results it's produced. Charity doesn't work. All of this money tied up, everything about plantation capitalism is faulty, flawed, and fraudulent. Until we listen to Black humans, until we deal with racism, we are... Well, here we go. I emailed him, had a friend talk about me, went to his assistant. Now, it shouldn't have to just be Robert Sapolsky who has to save me. But nobody will respond. And we have a lot in common. And while he has asserted that there is no free will in the scientific consensus, it can't be possible. You got a human being here living through the kind of stress that will kill all of you all. Physiological stress. And the only reason I'm staying alive is because I know how to use my mind. What I know about consciousness explains why he's 100% incorrect. I mean, he's 100% correct in the scientific paradigm, but he's 100% incorrect. Of course there's free will. Most of what everyone thinks it is just choice. They don't know. Nobody knows what they're talking about. The point of this is I'm so very sorry. I don't know how I'm going to have to go to the local Buddhist community and explain that in my research about consciousness and doing all of the regression thinking, developing life-centric thinking, what if we have sorted the hard problem of consciousness into an easy pivot? How does that change what we think about how humans work? And this is important data. This is not about me. That's why I changed my name. Like Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whose book I will be picking up at the library any moment now. You read his Sherlock series? It's the bomb. He goes in for Mycroft. Of course, Mycroft's best friend is a black man from Trinidad. Can identify with that a lot. But I'm not Mycroft. I am Sherlock. She's Sherlock, a human functioning. I have important data. It is a valid theory. I would just want to talk to Polsky. I just need somebody in the establishment. But I'm done with y'all's establishment. In this book from Dr. Ginger Chi, and they came here. Who comes here? I am a refugee in my nation, just like the Tibetan people. I don't know what China is up to. I don't really understand. But I feel the international community is so weak-minded. What this version of capitalism has done to the human soul is preposterous. That's why there's somebody here. They're trying to help us understand this suffering cannot stand. I am the globe's original consulting philosopher of quantum physiology. And I'm going to work tremendously to be able to go and work with the Dalai Lama's Mind Life Institute to share what I've learned about consciousness, what I'm demonstrating to you right now, even through 1,155 days of sleep deprivation, severe malnutrition. I fasted away 150 pounds in the 15 months after turning 50 and was in bliss the entire time. Now, there is somebody who will swear in every corner around the nation that this is the case. But she's about to die because she just happens to be in her 80s. And so Western medicine, just so they don't get malpractice, they just have to put her on pills and pills and pills and pills, and nobody has any. And she told me the most stressful thing is that she can't even get an answer. Everything, all of the systemic overwhelm is hurting all of us. So this is a message to Tenzin. And what am I? 33 degrees of separation, 99 degrees of separation. There's a whole organization there that I will be delighted to work with. I've got, I think, a very cool idea. Give away all my precious intellectual property on the internet. But I'm in debt to the entire Tibetan people, as I'm in debt to the entire African diaspora, which is just about everyone who isn't an adult in the U.S. of hypocrisy right now. Just because they on my shit list, everyone. What is that? African diaspora? That's all 8 billion of us. We are all African ancestrally. I had a different plan, a different strategy to come to the Dalai Lama bearing all sorts of opportunities. But now that's where I'm going to have to start. In a very, very compromised state. Because the 1 degree of separation from Dave Chappelle, whose Chappelle Challenge is now 5, I am good at Socratic improv. And in this lovely book by Ginger Chi, I really had no idea how extensively India has cared for the Tibetan people. Who talks about that? Where's that story? India, thank you very much. And thank you for Kundalini Yoga and for Ayurveda, Abhyangas and Shiradaras. Thank you, India. I am a person without categories, without allegiances, without the ability to judge another human based on how they look, where they come from, only on how they act. Which is my beef with everyone in the U.S. of hypocrisy. Now, the whole thing is, no one is intending to harm me. This is why it's so important that my story gets out. I don't need to be fixed. I don't need to have anyone to please anyone. I am trying to do work that nobody else can. This is invaluable. To run the global thought experiments, what consciousness is, and how that unites us all with all the other species, with all the life on Earth. Look, there are so many people with just wealth that I really cannot process in my brain. And they just let me go hungry. It's nobody's brain. The American brain is mush. It really is. We are a failed species, and every single one of us is on the brink of this kind of pain and torture. Yours will be different. You probably care about stuff. Oh, let me take your stuff away. See if y'all can handle it. I don't want stuff. I want to create an education empire that employs humans all across the globe. You're hired, is what I shout. Do y'all not see how close everything is? And how we are constantly harming each other? We are passing the suffering around instead of the love and respect. Please send me money. I am in need of so many things. This dog, she's neither one of us. I've never even been put in detention. I never had anybody talk sternly at me. Criminalized for sleeping. Because you are the apex intellect on planet Earth of bio-electromagnetism. Ask the next neuroscience. I cannot believe, given that the only thing that's different from me is what I've lived through. There's nothing inherent about me that suggests, which is the whole problem. People look at me and say, no, despite the fact that I've been saying I'm the She Einstein of consciousness for years, not one person has responded even negatively to any of those statements. No people are responding to anything I say. Nothing I say is being felt in the other human. That's why there's so much disease. Whiteness, everyone keeps trying to have to mention, black humans are not a monolith. It is a monolith? The Western whiteness thought tradition. The entire fucking globe. Exterminate other things, other thoughts. I don't understand. This is a valuable culture. The Tibetan Buddhism culture is one of severe necessity to the future of the species. And my buddy Tenzin, The Universe in a Single Atom, Convergence of Science and Spirituality. It's a philosophy. Now, spirituality is not at all something I know anything about. There's nothing woo-woo in what I have to say. I'm talking about body, mind, soul. I'm talking about we are all African ancestrally. And that free thinking is priceless. Go to the comments, Venmo me cash for this dog not dying. Which requires me to have gas so I don't freeze to death and I can avoid the cops that are pursuing me for sleeping. And maybe sometime in 2025, I'm going to actually have food to eat. And a way to lie down fully asleep. It doesn't involve a steering wheel. It's always the complementarity. The yin and the yang, male and the female, the Shiva and Shakti. Electricity and magnetism. I guarantee you, I can get some immediate help from my local Buddhist community. I'll pull together a delightful theory of consciousness that is very much in line with what was written out thousands of years ago. There's a whole section in every bookstore about the confluence of Buddhism and physics. Quantum physiology changes the mindset, the thinking that's prohibiting you from knowing how powerful you are. The people who will not have a conversation with me, and that includes talking to me, but just repeating some template. It's not, nothing can be solved. None of this climate change, nothing, not in the mindset of every adult that I've encountered in the U.S. of hypocrisy. There are some really incredible people imprisoned in the whiteness thought tradition. Whiteness has brought our species to the precipice. And what all that was about is undoing the link between the presence and the precipice. Catching yourself and knowing what you're saying, knowing what the emotion is of what you're saying. The emotion matters a great deal. Stand up to plantation capitalism, privileged democracy, the U.S. of hypocrisy, pharma hegemony. It just goes on and on and on. Once we as a species understand consciousness and understand how that changes how we think about human functioning, when we embrace life-centric thinking and allow the planet to rejuvenate, we stop doing the heinous things that have caused this to be the Anthropocene. We stop consuming mindlessly. We stop abusing natural resources. We just must take a global pause. This is why I'm needing the guidance and the collaborative partnership with the Dalai Lama. There's a way. There's only two things every human on this planet has got right now, and there's far too few things to keep humans alive. So many of us go hungry, so many without sleep, so many without heat, so many without these things, and I'm constantly bullied to just go get a job. It's my job to stay alive. It's my job to beg for money. Until you have the bars to get a job. Again, the categorization, the blah, 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 blah. Harmony, it's been Zenzi.